Good morning, monsieur. Thank you for coming down to the studio today.
Bonjour, Charlie. You're welcome. You know I'm missing an incredible family gathering to be here. What a wonderful day it is. Such a shame.
We shouldn't take too long out of your day, if you don't mind my intrusion. Business or pleasure, the gathering, that is.
My good sir, I don't mind at all, but your intrusion makes no sense. You just asked me if it were apples or apples. This has been a family business for nearly half a century.
Well, let's start with the topic that we asked you here for. There have been some growing rumors that some people are very upset with you, particularly the people who bought your company's fridge.
Yes, there's no pleasing some people. What are we supposed to do? It's all legal anyway. They signed a contract. They should be happy with what they have. Ungrateful, I say.
They signed a contract to buy a fridge.
Yeah, they had to. Absolutely ingenious idea. My brother had it. No one really read it anyway. It's too long, too boring.
Why did they have to do that? Sign a contract, that is.
Well, if they didn't, the compressor doesn't activate, so in essence it would be a fancy shelf.
And people were okay with that?
Of course not. They bought a fridge for a reason, so they had to sign. If they wanted a fancy shelf, they would not have bought a fridge.
So why are people upset now?
Well, we've been more than generous over the last few years, but all things come to an end eventually.
So you're shutting down the compressors?
Exactly. It's not like we haven't given them fair warning either. We put a press release out on our website months ago.
But are the fridges broken?
Not at all. We just can't keep handing out money to keep the compressors turned on. That's not good business.
So why don't you disable the switch, so people can run their own compressors, like it used to be?
What a peculiar idea. Makes no sense. They signed a contract. Why would we do such a thing?
Well, because you're turning all these fridges quite needlessly into, as you put it, fancy shelves.
Yes, my brothers thought it best. And how lucky they are now to own a fancy shelf.
But what about the food they kept in the fridge?
Not our problem, Charlie. They'd need to buy another fridge.
But their current fridge works perfectly, and a new fridge just wouldn't be the same.
Well, yes, but not for long. Didn't you read the press release? They have so many options, but they could buy the fridge 2 if they're unhappy. And the fridge 3 isn't too far away.
But it's not the same fridge. Last time I checked, somewhere around 5 million people use your fridge. It's a good fridge. Voted Fridge of the Year, even with the optional cosmetics and forced internet connection.
Yes, the customers didn't like that at all, but as you said, it's optional. And I wouldn't characterize it as a forced connection at all.
Is that because without a connection, it would be a fancy shelf?
Precisely.
But what about the people who don't have an internet connection?
Well, then they would have bought a fancy shelf.
But they bought a fridge.
Not like they have much choice these days. It's the new industry standard.
But that's what I'm getting at. Won't there be similar problems with those fridges as well?
Possibly, but we hired more lawyers to work on the contract, so probably not.